Mantis Property makes life easy for property managers by giving tenants and landlords their own portal to log into, where they can communicate with the property manager, see information on their tenancy, lodge maintenance requests and more. In this video, I'm just going to run through how to give access to landlords and tenants to the portals, and then I'll run through exactly what is in those portals. So to give access to a landlord or a tenant, you can do that from their contact record, or you can go directly into a specific tenancy and then select the landlord or tenant. So here we're going to select the landlord, and then you simply click on the login details button. This then brings you into the contact record and into the login details tab. You'll see here there's two invitations that you can send. One is for the tenant invitation and one is for the landlord invitation. They essentially send the same link to the same portal, but the wording of the email is different. If you select the Send Tenant Invitation button, it will automatically populate an email saying that they've been invited to log in for their tenancy. This will automatically brand it with the logo and contact details, agency details, etc. that you've set up in your account. The same process goes for sending a landlord invitation. It sends exactly the same link, but the wording on the email is slightly different, just to let them know that they can access their portfolio, track the progress of maintenance agreements, etc. When they receive the email, they click on the link and it'll bring them to this screen, which is the actual portal to log into. This is automatically branded with your logo and allows them to enter in their email address and password. If they don't know their email address and password, or if they need to set one, then they can click on Forgot Your Password, and that will send them a link to reset their password to whatever they want. So I'm just going to log into this. This will then bring them to their dashboard. It'll automatically detect if they're a tenant and will show them any tenancies that they have. If they're listed as a landlord on any properties, it'll show this here under your portfolio. So typically a tenant would log in and they'd just see your tenancy with information about the property that they're the tenant of, and a landlord would normally log in and just see your portfolio with a list of any properties that you manage for them. So the first thing I'm going to do is go into the tenancy. So this is as though I am a tenant of this property. This then brings up all the information about the address, the tenancy period, the bond held, the rent amount, rent frequency, and they can click the download button to download the tenancy agreement at any time. The next tab here is rent. Here they'll be able to see a ledger of all of their rent since they started the tenancy, which ones have been paid and which ones haven't. It'll highlight in red if anything is overdue. In inspections, they can click on that and they'll be able to download any inspection reports that have been uploaded for their tenancy. In bills, this will show them any bills that are related to the tenancy that the tenant pays, and it'll give them details including payment instructions, and it'll also show them whether they've paid that or not. It'll show them who the supplier is, what the description is, and they can click on View Bill to download the original copy of that bill. The next section is maintenance. This is where they can see any maintenance requests and what their status is, and they can add a new maintenance request. Be sure to check out the maintenance request video, which runs through this in greater detail to show you the whole process of working with maintenance requests. If we click dashboard, it comes back to the main dashboard. And now I'm going to go into a portfolio. So this is as though I've logged in as a landlord and I'm looking at my property. So it's very similar to the tenancy. It shows all the tenancy details. They can download the tenancy agreement, but the menu items on the left are slightly different. The rent button again will show a ledger of all the rent and if it's been marked as paid or not. So that way a landlord can log in at any time and they can see whether the rent's being paid or whether there's rent in arrears and what's going on with that. Same with inspections, they can click in the inspections tab and download any of the inspection reports for their property. This section here also has a tenant bills and landlord bills section. So the tenant bills, they can come in and they can simply view any of the bills that the tenant needs to pay. So they might be power bills or water bills, and they can see what the due date was, how much it was, what the actual bill was by clicking on the view bill, and they can also see whether it's been paid or not. In the landlord bills section, they can see bills that have actually been sent to them in regards to the property. So these might be repairs or something else that needs to be done that the tenant's not responsible for. So here, they'll be able to see any of the bills. Click on view bill to download the actual bill. They can see whether they've paid it or not, and also payment instructions if they want to make a payment. And then the final section is the maintenance. Again, they can see any maintenance requests that have been lodged for their property and what the status is. They can click on select to view all the details of that, including any photos or files. They can see any notes related to it. Be sure to check out the video regarding maintenance, as this will go into this in greater detail, including how landlords will receive quote requests so they can approve a quote for work to go ahead.